Welcome to our special Halloween video.
I'll put subtitles.
All from Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. Yeah.
Woo! Enjoy.
Happy
Welcome to another Halloween episode of the Hyperfixnation podcast with your hosts, McKenna, Bailey, and of course me, Kaden. Now, let's get into the show, shall we?
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of our Hyperfixnation podcast. It's our Halloween episode, yay!
Oh yes.
As
The
everyone
last episode
knows,
of my reign as Spooky King Lord Spook Master.
Exactly.
The last one. Our torturing is done.
Yep.
Actually, no. This is actually really fun. I saw a lot of
It's
fun
been
movies.
very fun.
Yeah, I've tried to take us on a little tour of not just my favorite movies, but movies I think everyone would enjoy. That's why today we talk about Sam Raimi movies for McKenna, but whatever. But yeah,
I'm kicking my
so-
little feet in excitement.
so we have a couple different segments today, because I think this is going to be an extra long special for Halloween. It's going to be fun to edit.
As everyone knows, Halloween is the best holiday.
It is. Well, here's the thing about that, though, right? Here's the thing. Yeah, Halloween is the best holiday until November, because then Christmas is the best. But then, come, like, February, Halloween is the best again. But,
Nuh-uh. You forgot St. Patrick's Day. That's the best one.
McKenna, you're the only person outside of Ireland who likes St. Patrick's Day that much.
I know. I really like St. Patrick's Day.
You have, and you've liked it since, what, like 4th grade? Something like
Yeah.
that? So, which segment do we want to start off with? Do we want to talk about Halloween Horror Nights first? Our top 3
I kind
horror
of do,
movies?
yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah, okay. So, we all had the opportunity to go to Universal's Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood, which was
Yeah.
really fun. We, full disclosure, we didn't get to do every house. McKenna was only missing 1. Me and Bailey were missing 2.
I'm just
But
too cool.
So I wanted to kind of talk about maybe not each and every house, but maybe, let's just talk about every house, just go over a little bit of it. We can go in order of how we went through the houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, we did Universal Monsters Legends Collide, which was bad. I didn't like it.
The
The
legends,
music-
they did
the-
not collide. They did not collide.
No, they did not.
The music was so cool, though. That music was
the
rocking.
music was great.
It hurt my ears, but it was good.
It was weird because I didn't know how loud every house was going to be, and they were all going to be about that loud. But that one, the music didn't necessarily fit. I can see why they brought back Slash from last year's Bride of Frankenstein house, because he did a really good job there, and that fit the tone and stuff, but it just did not fit with fucking vampire,
It was funny.
werewolf,
Memory.
and
I thought it
Bumblebee.
was pretty rockin'.
Yeah.
However, the costumes were not good, especially for Dracula.
They were-
Yeah.
Dracula's was
Dracula
just like
was
a
bad.
plastic mask, and it was not
Yeah.
good.
You can, like, if you have Wolfman and Mummy and Dracula is not the one you should be making a plastic mask, you know? Like...
I don't think we even saw like an actual version of the mummy. Like we saw the one from the old movie.
No,
of,
there was a
like,
couple
the one
mummies.
with,
Yeah,
like-
I saw some
Oh,
mummies.
okay. I must have
I
missed
did
them.
not see any
There was
Wolfmans, though.
there was
Like,
one singular
I
Wolfman
saw
at the last
Wolfman.
second, and that's what jumped me.
Yeah, it like jumped out of the wall. It was right after you passed Kaden.
Yeah,
It jumped at
it was
me
a
and Bailey.
foxy jump scare. The house didn't
It
feel
really
balanced
was.
enough. Like,
No.
if they wanted to just do a mummy house, then just do a mummy house, you know? Like, every room felt themed to the mummy.
Yeah.
didn't-
Like it didn't really
And I
feel
thought there was supposed to be...
conjoined-
Yeah, I thought there was
joined-ish.
supposed to be, like, a winner at the end of every night. Like, they were like, oh, this person won. It didn't feel like that. Just
Nope.
kind of felt
Yeah.
like stuff happened and then it was over. So, yeah, I rated that one. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. 4. 4 out of 10.
I'll give it a 4 just because of that banger music. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a 4 as well.
Okay, then we did The Weekend next, right?
We did Killer Clowns.
No, we did Weekend
No, we did
before
the weekend
Killer
first.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, or did we do Terror
No, we did
Tram
weekend
first?
then Killer Clown. Oh, we did
Okay.
Terror Tram before.
Yeah, so we
I
could
don't
talk
like
about...
how
We can talk about Terror Tram. So
we get to talk about my favorite.
yeah. So
Yay.
Terror Tram was pretty good. Nope. The Nope set hard carried though.
Oh, absolutely.
The whole
Yeah.
idea, like, I didn't really know what to expect. Again, first time going. I didn't know that it was not like riding a tram through a house. It was, you're going to ride the tram about 30 feet. You're going to get off the tram. You're going to walk about 50 feet. And then you're going to get back on the tram and it'll take you back up. Like, that was weird.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Hollywood Harry storyline was okay. Like, they could have done something better. I know they usually do Purge for that, which honestly works because you're going through the War of the Worlds set. And it looks good as a Purge one, but I don't know.
This
The
one just felt
designs for
weird.
everything. The designs for everything just didn't work for me on the Terror Tram
I
until
agree.
the Nope set. The Nope set
Until the Nope
carried
set.
hard. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were able to walk through the actual set of Jupe's Park for Nope, and that was
Jupiter's
awesome.
Claim.
We got to see for Jupe's Claim. We got to see the big balloon boy. We got jump scared by a few of the tethered from us.
Yeah, that
let's
was cool.
see. There were some of Jupe's Claim, like people running around like bloodied. and
Yeah,
stuff,
like,
and
oh
Yeah,
no,
that was-
it got me.
That was so cool. And then
Yeah.
the power turned off and it slowly turned back
Yeah.
on. That was really
Yeah,
cool.
that was
Yeah, it was
neat.
awesome.
I liked that a lot.
it was
The
yeah,
one
that
part
was
of
definitely
that
the
little
best
section
part.
I didn't like was the plastic mannequins of the tethered standing hand in hand. I was like, that looks
Right.
kind of bad. In
Just
like an
have
actual
people.
Yeah, in an actual horror house, you can get away with something like that because there's flashing lights and you can mask it kind of, but there, like, I can see why. They didn't want four
Oh,
people
yeah.
holding hands the whole night, but
There was
you
even
know.
There was even a few just plastic people in like the Halloween house and stuff.
yeah.
Well, that worked.
Then
because
next,
It was like,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
talk
it
about
did.
that.
yeah. Did anyone
Which
else have
do we
anything?
want to
Oh yeah,
give a
rating.
rating?
Um,
I give this one a 7.
I give it a 6. I think it's 4 of the 6 points go to just the Nope set, but
Yeah.
it should be like the other stuff just was not the greatest.
I think
you know?
I just liked it a lot because I got cool Nope merch.
I get it.
I did like how.
I
Oh yeah,
give it a
McKenna.
7 because
Yeah.
we got to see Norman Bates and we got to walk through
I
the
was just about
hotel
to
and
say.
go see the
That's true.
house.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
That was
Psycho
really
is
cool.
a good movie.
I haven't watched Psycho actually.
You
I
should.
need to,
a
need
good
to
one.
do that. Then we went down back to the lower lot for the Weekend After Hours Nightmare, which I absolutely adore. It was so good. I am like probably the only one who likes it this much because I watched all the music videos. I knew the story of the house like as it was happening, which everyone else that I've talked to like and seen reviews online is like, what was happening? What is the deal with that?
Kaden really was like, I understood that reference.
Yeah, I was MCU dialoguing all over the place, but it just did a really good job of capturing the story from the videos and turning it into a horror. I mean, some of the videos were already horror, but you know, it did a really good job.
I think my favorite part, like there was a few parts that got me, like the
Train.
frogman thing and the
Yeah.
train. The train got me a bit.
The
But I
train
think my
got
favorite
me.
part I think my
Yeah.
favorite part was watching the Weekend, the actual Weekend, go out and
Yeah, the effects
get the girl.
in the scene where he kills the girl.
Yeah,
Oh, that
that
was
was
really
so
good.
cool. That was so
And,
cool.
like, Yeah, some of the other effects in the house were pretty neat. I liked how it almost was like a palindrome. Like there were scenes that reflected each other, and there were like things happening in the same place, but again, you know.
Yeah.
It was neat. Like there was a couple scenes in that same bar, like the bar where there's like all the monsters with literal hookah smoking devices, which is hilarious to me. I wish we had gotten, like, I've watched the video of the house a couple times, and I wish we had gotten more of the scares, which is a weird thing to say, right? You don't want to get scared as much, but we missed a couple. Like, we missed one in the Heartless Hotel, like, where it's all melting and spinning, where you start to see him become Frogman. And, like, I literally saw the shadow of one guy who didn't jump us, who was also a Frogman. Like, we had no frog, no frog, no frog, suddenly the big frog, right?
Yeah.
I just kind of wish we had gotten more of the evolution.
Yeah, But overall, the house was very fun. I'd say, like, rating-wise, I would give it an 8.
For me, it's 10. It's a 10 out of 10. They incorporate the music really well. They have the mirror room from the Super Bowl performance.
The mirror room is fun. I like the mirror room.
They somehow made The Weeknd scary, which is... Everyone was like, how are you going to make that guy scary? But they did.
I give it a 7.
I've seen a lot of people online talking about what other musicians they think should get a house. And, you know, I've seen some, like, rock bands and stuff. They were supposed to have a Billie Eilish house 2 years ago.
Really?
That would be cool.
Yeah, but then COVID happened, so they scrapped it, never brought it back. Then I think next was Killer Clowns, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and this
that was okay.
Yeah,
me and Kaden both liked the movie.
Yeah, I really enjoy the movie. Like it's just a fun movie.
And the first half of the house was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, the first half was amazing, where you're going
like
through the alien ship and stuff.
They
had
set
design.
The costumes were great for the clowns.
Oh yeah,
that was unsettling.
That's the best part of the entire movie.
I've never seen the movie, but the unsettling clown designs are creepy. I didn't like that.
And I mean, a lot of the houses are bound to feel like this, where it's almost like a clip show. But this one really felt like a clip show, where it was just like, hey, do you remember the police station? Hey, do you remember the scene with the little popcorn guys? Hey, do you remember the scene at the door with the pizza?
But I will say, at the police station, the guy who was the main police chief, who gets puppeted, he did so good.
That was cool. I totally forgot about that guy. That was so cool. He was a real actor.
We couldn't tell. Yeah, we couldn't tell if he was animatronic or not.
Yeah, but he did it so perfectly. But he was real because his eyes were following you. But it was so good.
Yeah, it was wild. It felt really low budget. It almost felt like this was one that they threw in late, which I think it might have actually been. I'm not sure. I'll have to look back at it. But I know they had to change a lot this year, like Hotel Horror, which is the one none of us got to go through. That was supposed to be an Evil Dead house, Evil Dead Rise, but then the movie got changed. I think there was supposed to be a Candyman house, but I think that got moved around.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, bees. I'm actually going to go look that up while you guys talk about your ratings for Killer Clowns.
For Killer Clown, I think it was good at the start, but it kind of fell off on the end. Especially, but I'd give it probably just like a 7, I guess.
I'd give it a 4. I wasn't scared or anything during it, and I haven't seen the movie, so I don't really know much about it. But, however, it did make me want to watch the movie, so I'll have to check it out later.
The movie is pretty fun.
Yeah, the movie's great. I recommend it. The house, it was like a 6, I think. It could have been so much, but it wasn't. There was a couple really good scenes. Obviously, clip show, but they were out of order and they just kind of felt thrown in. Next was
Halloween House.
Yes, next was Halloween,
and this was the best house in the entire thing.
That was my favorite house.
I disagree. I think Weekend was the best, but Halloween is a definite close second. It's also 10 out of 10, but
it's a very good house.
Yeah,
it was so good.
A lot of good stuff.
This one, although it was kind of a clip show, but it did really well at capturing the entire plot of the movie.
Yeah, this one, one I think did it a lot better than Clowns, where you could feel the progression.
Sure. I think this one was a clip show in the beginning, but once it hit the end, it got more into abstract thoughts about what Michael is. That was really cool.
Oh yeah. That's what my favorite thing was about this entire house, because one running thing with the mainly good Halloween movies is that Michael's everywhere, he's evil, incarnate, and stuff like that.
And
they
what was
definitely
cool is you would get scared from your left, and then suddenly you'd get scared on your right too. It's you couldn't get a break, which was
the first Michael jump scare of when you think he's a mannequin and then the glass breaks and he comes at you. That was so cool. Yeah. But I think all of our favorite parts of that whole haunted house was Loomis himself.
Loomis.
So if anyone doesn't know, Loomis is the therapist who's trying to stop Michael from doing all his evil deeds. And so in the haunted house, they have Loomis there shooting down Michael. Well, of course, Michael doesn't die. And so Loomis just keeps having to shoot him. So our friend group, all of us just started cheering for Loomis. We're like, yeah, go Loomis, go Loomis.
Go Loomis,
And
go.
he must have felt so cool because he started doing James Bond poses. He started like shooting Michael without even like looking at him. It was so
He did the
funny.
Charlie's Angel pose too, and I think that one's so funny.
Yeah,
and then,
it was
like,
so funny. He was having a great
so
time. We
good.
were having a great time. It was fun. And then Michael tried to come at us, but Loomis got him. Thank you, Loomis.
Loomis got him.
Shot him with
Loomis
his big
got him.
gun. His regular
And then we
size
go
gun.
into another mirror room.
Well,
Mirror room.
The
Oh,
mirror
yeah, that
room
was
for
cool.
Halloween was a fitting end. Like
It was
a
really
lot of
good.
my problem with a lot of the houses is they just sort of end. Like it didn't feel like it came to a climax at any point. It was just like and done. But
Yeah, I
this one
agree.
it kind of felt like it was a big moment at the end.
Yeah, so
With-
He's
in the
everywhere.
mirror room, there's a bunch of mirrors, and then there's mannequins of Michael all over, but then there's some real actors who would try to get you. It's very,
Yeah.
very cool.
It
It
was
was
so
very cool.
So it's like you didn't know which one was real. I like that one. That one is me and McKenna's favorite for sure.
Yeah. It's my second favorite. It was really good.
I give it a 10 out of 10.
I also
10
give
out
it
of
10.
10.
Like,
10 out
I
of
can't
10.
even deny it. The sets were great. The scare actors were really great, really on point.
It was so good.
Loomis.
Shout out to the Loomis, but also to the Lori because she.
The Lori was
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
the Lori was really good. She was screaming. Like, good job.
Yeah.
Oh, you know another one of my favorite parts in that was that when they showed Michael underneath the bed sheet with like the glasses.
The
That was
with
cool.
the glasses.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, next
Yeah.
haunted house. What was it?
Next one was the one that
Scarecrow.
scared Caden the most.
I don't know
Oh,
why
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow messed me up so bad. It's probably because
The
I
bugs.
have seen enough. I've seen enough movies to know be
bugs.
afraid of Texas and don't mess with
And this
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is about I don't know the official like story, but I think it's just a bunch of scarecrows come to life and kill a family.
Yeah, I
and
think
kind of live in
that's
their
That's
what
what
house.
it seemed like.
And birds
There was
poop
the
on
Texas
you.
Chainsaw reference. There was a Texas
there's
Chainsaw
the table.
Dinner
You
reference.
mean a Resident
the
Evil
dinner.
7 reference?
Resident Evil. It felt very Resident Evil 7. Like, I think that's
True.
partially why I was so scared. And also, it was like the first original house we did, right? Like,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first
The Universal, well, I guess it's
that one's
not
kind of
wrong.
original.
But
This
yeah,
one,
I guess that one.
because I didn't know what to expect, so I got scared a lot easier, and it was frightening. And honestly, the people who say original houses are better than licensed, I disagree. But this was a very good point. This one definitely scared me.
sure.
It had water effects in it, which was really fun.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Oh my gosh.
And-
There was a
and-
part where you go under crows and they're like dripping
They
water
spray
and
water.
it's supposed to be like poop. And
There's
it
a
was
toilet
so
that
gross.
It was funny.
There was bits of intestines hanging from the ceiling at some points
Yeah.
and stuff, and I was like,
There's like a
"Ugh."
butcher room segment, which again, Resident Evil 7. You go in most of the rooms in every house. You go into them by going like under like little cloth sheets that are dangling down. But for this one, they had like little plastic intestines. It always felt weird. It was in this and Killer Clowns, where you would walk into things that you didn't think you were supposed to walk into. Like in Clowns, you had to walk into the cotton candy that was swinging around.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The stringy, was that cotton candy?
the pink thing hanging down.
Oh
in-
yeah, okay.
yeah.
I was trying
That
to
was cotton
remember.
candy.
Yeah, but this one was really good. Like, I think one thing that I've learned that scares me is flashing lights and people reaching out towards me.
That,
And
See,
I don't know why
well,
it
that
scares me a
doesn't-
lot, but it does.
That doesn't scare me, and my main problem with this house was that there's too much of that. There are too much lights and too much sound coming at
Yeah.
me. Which
There's a lot of
after
lights, yeah.
after a while I'll just shut down and like won't react. So at one moment this character tried to scare me, and so like I gave them like a pity but I said I'm sorry. I can't. Nothing's going at me. I'm sorry.
So yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. The set design was the best in this house. I
Oh,
think
for sure.
this one looked the best out of all of them.
This one and Halloween both had an outside facade, which was
Yeah.
awesome, and it was like
All of 'em,
this one was like just a scary house.
all of them
and
kind of had
Michael's-
outside facades.
Like, I guess you're right.
Weekend
right.
had
But,
the
like,
album cover. Killer Clowns had the tent.
No.
Yeah, but
I
these
think-
ones
I
had
think they
ones that
mean-
you like fully entered in.
I think they mean that when you walk through, it feels like you're outside. Is that what you meant?
That's
because
true.
because the Scarecrow one,
Kinda,
I felt like I was outside.
Yeah.
Kinda. Well, it's either yes or no.
It was all like I think Scarecrow
Okay,
was
thank you.
mostly outside too.
Yeah,
Like, I would hate
it felt
to go
more
through that one
outside.
during the day. All of these houses, because when this started, you had like a good hour and a half of daylight at the start of the event. When we went, it was dark the whole time. But imagine going through Scarecrow or Terror Tram with like daylight. Even La Llorona, which was our next house,
Oh yeah.
had some outside segments which would have been ruined by
Yeah.
the sun.
Mm-hmm. That bridge part,
True.
that was pretty cool.
The bridge was cool.
Yeah.
La Llorona was okay. Oh yeah, ratings for Scarecrow.
That's ratings.
9 out of
I'd
10.
give it. Yeah.
Gave it a
nine.
7 out of
9 out of
10.
10.
Just because after a while it just was too much and I
Yeah.
kind of shut down
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah. And then we
Uh,
went to La Llorona,
Yes.
based on the Hispanic myth.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
I liked it.
There were moments I didn't like. The fact I guess watching the YouTube videos of some of these houses ruined a lot of it for me, because there was supposed to be a part. There's a giant set piece of the La Llorona eating a like a human person, like screaming and reaching out to you, like, "Hey, get me out of here!" But we didn't have that. It was just a large La Llorona eating like a plush child, and it really just didn't help.
Plush child.
Yeah, it was kind of lame, that segment, without someone actually screaming.
Wasn't
Yeah.
the big La Llorona supposed to move too? It wasn't moving.
I think it was.
It was.
It was
Must
like
have
the
been
end of the
barely,
night,
but I
so
thought
it
was
was-
gonna be
Yeah.
moving it more.
It must have been having some troubles. It was.
I mean, it was a cool
You
set
could tell
piece.
that house wasn't. Yeah, it was a great set piece.
Yeah.
The outside segment with the bridge and the drowned children was great
In the
too.
That
bloody
was cool.
water.
Yeah, a lot of I don't remember anything else about this house. Like,
Me neither.
I remember
the first
big
half is
set
very
pieces,
forgettable.
and I remember nothing. And the ending I do remember, because there was a scare zone actor that hid at the exit and jump scared us as we were leaving.
It
But I
was not
saw him,
fair.
so I didn't get jump scared, but everyone else
It
did,
was
so I got to laugh at
cheating.
that. La Llorona, 5 out of 10.
I gave it.
Yeah,
I think I give it a 7.
yeah.
I give it a 5. Yeah.
It's not memorable. Then McKenna did one more house.
Yeah.
I was very tired and ear hurty, so I just was in a Starbucks during this. McKenna went through Blumhouse.
Yeah. While you guys are waiting in line, I turned to Kaden's boyfriend Leo, who was there, and I was like, "You think they allow us to do the Blumhouse haunted house?" Because it was like, I think 10 minutes till closing. And so he turned to me and he's like, maybe. And so both of us like run over to it, and the people there, they're like, yeah, go on in. And I just turned to him and I'm like, no way. So we both go in, and it starts off with like the freaky portion, because the Blumhouse haunted house is both freaky and the Black Phone. Starts off with the freaky portion. I've never seen Freaky the movie, but it was pretty cool. They had that. The only part I do know, like I have seen from the movie, is where I think one of the teachers gets their head sawed like on a wood table, like a saw
Yeah.
blade, and that was really cool because they had that, and like the actress was like pushing the mannequin body like towards the saw blade. It was like ripping the head open, like blood. That was cool.
Yeah.
But the part that I liked was when it hit the Black Phone, because that's the movie I have seen and I like that movie. And so I thought it was really cool to see Ethan Hawke's character, the grabber, try to like axe you and all this. Like, his jump scares are really good. I do wish it had more like ghost children. They did show like dead children on the floor at one moment, so like I guess that's that. But
Cool.
what was really cool about this house was that it's like 2 separate movies, and you think it'd be very like jumpy, like all of a sudden, oh, we're in the Black Phone now. It was pretty smooth. Like, we were walking down, I was like, oh, there's all these dead children. So I was like, I don't know if this is for Freaky or for the Black Phone yet. But then like slowly shifted towards the Black Phone. I was like, oh, they did a good job, because I didn't even notice.
Nice.
But I give that house maybe it felt very vacant in the Freaky area. If it was just the Black Phone, I think I would have liked it more. I would give it a 6 out of 10.
So I pulled up
Okay.
what the speculation map was, which is like There's a guy on Twitter who does speculation maps every year, like leading up. It changes, like what. It's basically leaks. Like he knows pretty much. Like he got 9 out of 10 like halfway through the year last year for Florida. Mm-hmm. Blumhouse was actually one of the ones that was rushed for Hollywood. Blumhouse was the one that was supposed to be Candyman. It was going to be the Candyman house. And I'm assuming, based on what it looked like the logo and the speculation map is going to be the remake, which makes sense. But no, it was Blumhouse.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sad. I wish a Candyman one would be cool.
Yeah,
really
Candyman
cool.
would have been really cool. Yeah, and then there were scare zones. We only really kind of saw, like, one of them we spent a lot of time in because it was cool. The other two I didn't really care for. It was the Death Eaters in Harry Potter Land, which was amazing.
That was so cool.
It was really cool, and I really liked it. And they had projections on the castle of Dementors
snakes
flying
were
around.
moving on it.
Yeah.
So cool.
It was definitely a really good addition to it.
The best part of that whole land is that we also went during the day, and during the day it plays this cheerful Harry Potter music, you know, the dun 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 dun. And then at night when we first started entering that land, it was dead silent, and like these eerie noises were surrounding you, and I'm like, this is a totally different atmosphere than what we just left like earlier today. It was crazy.
Oh yeah. It was great. And they had like a little like walkthrough bit almost where like it was a specific area where they had a bunch of Death Eaters jump at you.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
That was cool.
The masks were nice, the scare actors were really good. It was a really well done segment. Like, I hope they do that more, and I hope they do it in Florida, because I'm not sure if Florida does it.
Isn't it like a yearly thing anyways? Like,
do.
don't they do it every year? Or was this the first year?
Yeah. This was the first time they have done Death Eaters in California.
Really? What do they normally do?
I'm not sure if they've done it in Florida. They didn't do any Harry Potter stuff. Like
they've got to keep doing it, because it's like a must now.
Yeah.
Maybe like Dementors or something.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
They made every part of the park feel included, which was really good. Like, even Simpsons Land, they played Treehouse of Horror music, which was nice.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah,
it made it all feel included and together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have anything else they want to add about HHN before we move on to more Halloween?
No, just that I'd recommend it to anybody who likes a good spook, if you can go down there at all.
It was really fun, and honestly, I really want to make this an annual thing where I go every year, because it was so much fun.
Mm-hmm. I'd want to do Florida, because California is, like, really good. They had a lot of houses, but Florida is where they, like, take it to the next level. They have more houses, they have a bigger park, they have more scare zones, better stuff. Florida's where it's at. I'd love to go there. Of course, we planned this trip in, like, 2 months, so there was no way we were going to Florida 2 months.
I've never been to the Florida Universal. I don't know.
This was my first time at the California one, so that was fun.
I don't know if if it'd be too much, because even though we were able to get in front of the lines, it was still we still missed a haunted house. Like, it was a lot of stuff. So next time
we would
it'd have
definitely
to be
do multiple days, because Florida has multiple parks too. So, anyways, let's move on to our next topic. We wanted to talk about our top 3 favorite horror movies, each of us. Of course, I've already talked about, by the end of this episode, I will have had full discussions on each of my top 3. So
so you're
that's
cheating,
pretty funny.
Basically.
I am cheating. So I want to hear your guys's first.
All right, so my number 3, personally, I gotta go with Carrie from, I think it was from the 70s. I'm not sure what the year it was. But I really like Carrie. Yeah, it's one of the few Stephen King adaptations that I really like. But it's really good. It feels more artsy than most like horror movies, which is a recurring theme with lots of my
I haven't seen Carrie.
picks.
I'm just kind of agreeing. I'm blindly agreeing.
But
now.
But all of the acting's really good. I especially love the actress for Carrie. And the score's pretty good. I just really like it a lot. Although it's not very scary.
My number 3 choice is Scream, the first one. I've only seen the first one and the very last one, but I really like the first one. And the reason I really like the first one is because it's silly. It has a good amount of meta in it. Has good quotes too. And
great
also,
acting.
Yeah, great acting. Shaggy's in it. And
Shaggy.
it has that Spider-Man complex where anyone can be a serial killer.
I've never heard that. I've never heard Scream compared to Spider-Man.
Well, there you are.
My number 3 is Saw.
Of course.
Obviously, I quite enjoy Saw. I think it can be the funniest horror movie franchise at times, and it can also be the most disgusting. And I adore the characters that continue through each of the movies, like John Kramer, who, by the way, between last episode and this one, John Kramer was confirmed to be coming back for the Scream movie that's coming out next year.
Whoa. Put your
everyone
hands
is
together,
saying,
everyone.
Hopefully he wears the backwards hat again.
To make himself
so,
look younger.
Yeah. I think that would be a great addition to that movie. But yeah, I really enjoy Saw. I'm just kind of taking the whole franchise here. The first one's obviously the best and my favorite. I also like 5 because 5 is just kind of like 5 is the best silly Saw.
Yeah.
Is that the
Good
one with
choice.
the backwards cap, Tobin Bell?
No, I believe that's the last one. Saw 5 is the one
darn.
with the insurance guy.
Oh, okay.
It's got the best traps. All right, Bailey, your number 2.
Oh yeah, my number 2. My number 2 is the one that actually that we cannot stop talking about for some reason.
Five
And
Nights
that
at Freddy's.
is No,
All
it's
right.
Jordan Peele's Nope.
Yes.
Because welcome to the Jordan Peele cast, of
right.
course.
I
We
didn't
did have
even
a
say
whole
that when we
episode.
talked about Nope, yeah.
We did have a whole Nope episode, basically, back a few
Kinda,
weeks
yeah.
ago. So if y'all want to know
It's part of
our
Alien
thoughts on
Week.
it, check
We
that
talk
out.
about
It's
science
an
dad.
Alien Week, yeah.
It's
Aliens are
it's
epic.
it's just a really good one. I really like it. It's my personal favorite Jordan Peele movie, I think. But
Yeah.
it's just really good.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
good one. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
number
so
2
great.
is The Thing. Yay!
Nice.
I
Yay.
really like The Thing. My papa, my papa. I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. He introduced it to me, and he, I don't know, he was really excited to introduce it to me because I think he thought I would get scared by it and have nightmares, but I did not, and in fact, I enjoy it very much. I think the practical effects are really cool, and the acting is mwah, and the colors, so beautiful.
Kurt Russell.
It's overall
Kurt
a
Russell
wonderful
is moi.
film. And
That too.
yeah.
That one's really good. As someone who doesn't like body horror, that's one of the few ones that I can watch and be like, this is good. This is good.
I think I was talking to McGregor a while ago about my interests, and he wondered if I liked body horror, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I've never considered that. And then I was like, wait a second, The Thing,
Yeah.
the whole Resident Evil.
That all of
I'm like,
Resident
no.
Evil, pretty much.
Maybe I
All
do.
of Sonic the Hedgehog.
All of the Sonic characters are creatures given horrible flesh by God.
No.
Don't say that. Don't say that to my plush up here. Oh,
Not
Shadow.
about Shadow.
Shadow is cursed.
Shut up, Kaden.
Okay,
What's
so
your
my
number
number
2?
2. My number 2 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original.
What?
Yeah.
I know. I like the movie that I made everyone watch. It makes me happy, which is weird because it's so tense. I like it a lot because of Leatherface. I like him as a character. I also really like the way it does tension. I like the set design of Texas. I guess it's really easy to just have really good set design of
The
Texas.
set design of
The
Texas.
set design
Yeah.
of Texas. Texas is terrifying based on that set
Texas
design.
is scary. Texas is
It is.
terrifying.
It is.
You
I've
seen
been
X?
there. It's
Terrifying.
It's just as scary.
Terrifying, yep.
It
Scary
is
Texas.
terrifying.
Like, yeah, don't like it. Don't go to
Guns.
Texas. Worst mistake of my life. Yeah, I really like TCM.
That's
it's
good-
a classic. I am excited to play the video game next year. Yeah.
If it ever comes out.
Yeah, eventually.
Uh,
They keep announcing stuff for that game, and they have not announced a release date. They're like, here's every character we're having. Here's every map. Here's everything about the game. It'll come out eventually. Like, nothing about a release date.
It's like Grand Theft Auto 6. It's like it'll come out in like 50 years. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And for my number one, the most number one scariest horror movie,
Scary.
which is honestly maybe not the scariest, but it's one of the few movies that has personally like scared me like while watching it, and that is
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, it's a certain movie with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, and that is known as The Lighthouse.
That movie scared you? But it's the lobster scene. It's a comedy.
Look, man, I think Willem Dafoe's face is weird, but it shouldn't scare you that much. That's definitely odd. He's scarier as Green Goblin.
Robert Pattinson doesn't sparkle in that movie. You don't need to be scared of him.
But he's spooky. I think it's just like, it's so weird and out there a lot of the times that it's like, what the hell is going on? And like, when you realize what is going on, it's like kind of terrifying just to figure it all out and piece it all together. Because it's like, it's a movie that makes you feel like you're like going insane with it, basically.
Really makes you feel like you're the lobster.
It does.
Kaden and I watched this in a McDonald's parking lot.
I didn't really watch it because I was like, I don't want my experience with this movie to be on McKenna's phone in a McDonald's parking lot.
It was funny.
So I just kind of stopped paying attention to it. No offense.
And of course, we all appreciate Willem Dafoe's Lobster.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not very fond of it.
You're not fond of me, lobster. Hark, bellow.
I was really hoping
good.
You'd go into the whole speech, McKenna.
I don't have it memorized.
Do the whole speech right now.
Be a lot funnier if you
Hark,
did.
bellow. I don't know. Okay, so my number one, which is probably going to surprise a lot of you out there, they allowed me to choose something that wasn't a movie, but in fact, a video game series. That's right, everyone. It's Five Nights at Freddy's. Kidding, I'm joking.
Yeah!
It's not
It's
not Five Nights at Freddy's. No.
All right, comedies and threes. No more Five Nights at Freddy's. It's done. Dead.
Kaden, you just did it a fourth time.
It always comes back.
No, my favorite one is Resident Evil, the video game. I love it so much. So last time I think we talked a little bit about it, but I was playing the fifth one and I took a break from that one because I thought I should probably maybe go back to the Resident Evil 0, which is like the prequel of like the franchise. So I decided to do that, and I love it so much. It's so much fun playing the older versions because like the remakes are fun, but like playing these older versions with like the bad camera angles and the silly dialogue, it's so much fun. I love it. I can't wait for Resident Evil 4 remake. It's gonna be a blast. Hopefully they keep some of those iconic lines like where's everyone going? Bingo.
If you did have to pick a favorite game in the
Stop
series,
it!
what
Don't
would
ask
you
me this question.
Remember last time this happened?
Remember last time this happened and I never answered it? I never answered it. I never did.
Answer it.
No. My favorite one so far that I've played. Okay. I'm gonna have to go with one. And
number one's your favorite?
Yep.
That seems like that makes sense for you.
And
really?
Yes, and I know it's not. Well, it is a remake in a way, but it's not like what you think. Like remake 2 and 3 wise, it's not like one of those. It just like is a remake of the skin kind of, and just added some game play elements. But I like this one so much because I like the puzzles that you play. And then I like Wesker in it because he's like a twist villain in that one, because this was the very first one that I played, and at the time I didn't know a lot about it.
Mm-hmm. So it was actually a surprise.
Yeah, it was.
Cool.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And so I didn't know anything about it, and then he dies at the end, so that made me confused because after I found out it was Wesker, I was like, oh, who is this guy, you know? So I looked up and read about him, and then he dies at the end, and I'm like, Okay. But I think what made the game so much fun is because I played it on the hardest mode as Chris.
Yeah.
And that made me take a slow time with the game and really made me want to beat it. And when I did beat it...
It took like a whole semester of college, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I remember you texting me updates every couple days. Like, I've gone a little bit further. The day you beat the game was a
I called everyone. It was amazing.
Yeah. Nobody ever calls me because I don't like to be called on the phone. But when you called me, I answered, and I was like, did it happen? And you're like, yeah, it's Resident Evil.
Yeah, I beat it. But the game is... I want you to play it, Kaden. I really do. I want to shove it onto someone else and be like, play this game, please. Have the fun that I did. The camera angles are goofy, but honestly, that made me more scared of, like, any other game. Like, I understand that Resident Evil 2 and 3 are higher graphics, and even 4 is, like, higher graphics too, and 5. But, just rounding a corner and not being able to see anything, and then all of a sudden being attacked by a zombie, it scares me every time. I love it. Also, the slow doors, I miss it in other Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 1 slow doors.
You missed that whole...
I do. And Resident Evil 0 slow doors, I miss you. Bring them back in the Resident Evil 4 remake.
No.
I'm joking. Don't do it.
No more slow doors.
That was the scariest part of the whole games. But yeah, it's just so much fun. I love Resident Evil with all my heart.
Yeah, I really enjoy Resident Evil as well. I have only played 2 and 3 all the way through, but I really like them. I like the characters mostly of Resident Evil.
The characters
That's what
are
I like
so
most.
good. So good.
And they're just fun to talk about.
There's such a variety, too.
Yeah. On our drive to California for Halloween Horror Nights, me and McKenna did Wesker impressions for literally a full hour.
2 hours, I
More
think.
than
2
that.
hours.
More than that. You did it the entire trip. You did it the entire trip.
Because I had the Wesker
It's a long
sunglasses,
time.
so I kept putting them on and going, "Time to die, Chris."
Yeah. We got
I'm
a lot
gonna
of...
kiss Chris Redfield on the lips.
You got a lot of inside jokes out of that trip.
A lot of
That's
inside
for
jokes.
sure,
It's
damn.
amazing. It's so much fun.
But yeah.
All right.
My number one is Evil Dead 2, or the whole Evil Dead trilogy, if you want to expand it. But Evil Dead 2 is my favorite.
Technically, Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness are basically just the trilogy all by themselves.
That's true. Evil Dead 2 is great because it has the perfect balance of the horror from the first one and the comedy from Army of Darkness. And it just is great. It pretty much makes Ash into the character he is that I am in love with. I love Ash. He is my favorite. Yeah, Ash, Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 just has so many great moments, like Henrietta, so many great lines, a great set. I could right now close my eyes and draw the cabin from memory. I know the exact layout of the whole cabin.
Really?
I do.
That's insane.
And Fortnite also does, because Ash is in Fortnite now. That happened between last episode and this one. Oh my god, Ash is in Fortnite. Yeah, so I could count how much money I've spent on Ash Williams merchandise. It would be too much, though, so I don't want to do it.
And more recently, you bought a figurine.
I do. I have him in my hands right now.
Really?
How about the NECA Ash?
Oh, wow. He looks
from
cool.
Ash vs. Evil Dead. He has switchable hands. He has the chainsaw hands, switchable hands. He's great.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like Evil Dead. Speaking of, that's our discussion today. We're going to talk about all three, because you really can't talk about one without the others.
We could technically talk about just 2 and 3. 2 is just a remake of 1.
It is. And there's a reason for that. They didn't want to put the remake of 1 in the first 20 minutes of 2, but they wanted to just have a flashback so you could understand what was going on. But they changed studios in between 1 and 2. So in the original studio's like, you can't have that footage. That's ours. That's not yours. That's ours. So they wouldn't let them put the flashback in there.
Interesting.
So they just made a new movie, basically.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Evil Dead 1 I saw in theaters last year, which was really cool, because last year was the 40th anniversary. I got to see it in theaters. It's really good. It's honestly, after rewatching all 3, Evil Dead 1 is probably my least favorite.
Yeah, it's the weakest,
I agree.
in my opinion.
It's the weakest.
Yeah.
It's the first one and one.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that Sam Raimi.
Ever?
It was his first full movie. He did short
movie.
films and stuff before.
You can definitely tell it's his first movie.
They were also extremely high while they were making it. That's a fun fact. They were completely zooted as they were making Evil Dead 1.
That's not too surprising.
So silly.
Yeah, I could talk for hours about fun facts about everything, about all of these movies.
Of course.
We could also talk about the tree scene, but I don't know if we really want to talk about the tree scene.
No.
Nobody's favorite scene from any movie.
No.
Even Sam Raimi hates the tree scene. He said if he made it again, he would.
I do think it's so funny that he hated it, and then he almost did it just again, but then was like, no, she did.
Our audience probably doesn't know what we're talking about, and I'm not entirely sure if we want to talk about it for them.
We're not going to explain it.
It involves a girl in a tree.
Don't look it up. We're not going to explain it.
There's a reason I use the root wing glider with Ash in Fortnite. It's a glider that looks like a tree. Evil Dead 1, it's weaker compared to the other two because of what Evil Dead becomes into Army of Darkness and in the TV show. I did a lot of homework. I played Evil Dead the video game. I watched the Evil Dead show, watched the Evil Dead remake. It's almost like I have an obsession with this franchise.
Sounds like you have a hyperfixation.
Like the podcast name. Whoa. I am holding an Ash Williams plushie right now.
I think it's funny how each thing is very distinct from one another. Because the first Evil Dead is a pretty regular by the books horror movie, but like it
only by the books because it wrote the fucking books. All right, it wrote the horror books.
I know.
It is horror.
I think
everything else copied it.
It ups the gore so much.
Hey guys, I'm a random person who's never seen the Evil Dead. What's this all about? What's going on?
Yes, random person in the audience.
My name's Kevin.
Well, Evil Dead 1 is about 5 friends who go to a cabin. And then Evil tries to kill. They accidentally summon an evil spirit with the Necronomicon, Ex Mortis, Book of the Dead, inked in blood and made of human flesh.
Oh, gross.
The evil spirit, which is Ted Raimi on a bicycle, does not want to let them leave.
I can't believe you just said that inside joke.
No, that's not an inside joke. That's a fact. That is really how they filmed those. There's scenes in the movie, for people who haven't seen, where it's a very Sam Raimi thing. It's like obviously this is him. This is what defined his style. Where it's just a camera going through the woods and you see like leaves getting kicked up. It's like the evil spirit coming to get him. All of those were Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother, on a bicycle, going through the woods.
So for those who don't know, the first time I ever watched The Evil Dead, it was actually the second one. I watched it at Kaden's birthday party, and Kaden said something
in the middle of summer. I just wanted to force people to watch it.
Kaden said something about Ted Raimi being riding his bike, like around. And so every single movie now with a POV shot or a subjective camera, we would constantly talk about how it's just Ted Raimi on a bike.
It's just him riding around. Funny. They bring him in for everything.
Yeah.
It's just
sorry.
And in Evil Dead 2, one of the earlier shots is it going through the house and then hitting Ash. That was actually done where they had people ready to open the doors and Ted Raimi went through the house on the bike and then, of course, ran over Bruce Campbell because Sam Raimi likes to injure Bruce Campbell in any way possible.
That's my favorite running bit. That's my favorite running bit.
It's not just Bruce. Sam Raimi just likes to abuse his stars. Like in Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire,
when he literally slams Tobey Maguire in the head with a backpack that one time.
Have you seen the behind the scenes footage of Tobey talking about how Sam will beat them up and Sam Raimi being getting ready to beat him up?
Yeah, it's so great. Sam's just a great director. He's had some stinkers.
I wonder what Benesleen Dumberdatch went through in the Multiverse of Madness film. Yeah.
I mean, if I had a nickel for every time Sam Raimi made his main character beat himself up, I'd have a lot.
Have a lot of nickels.
So much money.
Okay, sorry, my name's Kevin. What else is this movie about?
So then slowly, one by one, all of the people are possessed, and it leaves just Ash Williams who's left.
Oh, damn, man.
And it's left ambiguous at the end whether or not he survives.
Oh.
Then in Evil Dead 2, it basically does a remake of the first one in about 20 minutes. It's just like, oh, this happens, and Ash. And then Ash gets a little possessed, but he kind of doesn't. That's
He's
a
the main
weird
guy.
Yeah, I know. I think the possession comes back later in Army of Darkness. I think that's what the little ashes are, but that's a whole other thing. Yeah, then Evil Dead 2, some people come to the cabin. It's like, hey, where's my dad? It's like, your dad's super dead, dude. He's like super dead.
Oh, no,
and
man.
what about my mom? Also, she was super dead. She was
dead?
very super dead. Not anymore. She's back. I'm going to shoot her with my gun. And then they read the book, and Ash gets teleported back to medieval times.
Oh, no.
And is lauded as a hero. But then Army of Darkness is about him in medieval times, where they retcon the ending of the last movie. Forget it ever happened. Ash is a slave now.
Oh,
and then it does another remake of the second movie.
No,
it goes
no
back
way.
and does it again.
No.
And then it's like, yes, now Ash is in medieval times. And now I'm going to pose the plot of this one a little differently. McKenna, what would you do if you got teleported back to medieval times and then you had to go find a special book so you could go back to the present, right? But they throw you in a pit where you have to fight a evil witch. But you have a gun. You have a big gun.
Yeah.
And then you tell everyone about your big gun, but then you go to get the book. And then you're chilling at night in a windmill.
Yeah.
And then you look in a mirror and there's 30 little tiny versions of you that
No
are all
way.
trying to kick your ass simultaneously.
Oh.
And then you fall over and one jumps in your mouth and then you grow another you out of your body. But then you get the book, but you mess it up. So then a bunch of dead people come back to life. Silly skeletons, in fact, come back to life. And then you have to defend the castle from these silly skeletons. And also you are back. There's another, the you from earlier, you're back.
Yeah.
And then you have to do that, but then you get teleported back to the modern times where another person attacks.
Okay.
And you have to shoot them with your big gun. What would you do?
I'd probably accidentally drink too much of that potion and accidentally end up too much in the future.
Ah. So you watched the alternative ending, I see.
did on accident, yeah.
All right. I was excited to talk about the Army of Darkness. There's 2 endings to Army of Darkness.
Oh, by the way, for everyone, Kaden just
I stole your whole letterbox review.
stole my whole letterbox review. What I said for my letterbox review was, turns to friend, hey, hypothetically speaking, what would you do if, and then explains the whole movie.
Yep.
Because this movie is a trip.
It is so great.
They're
I love it.
they're so 3 different from each other, I think, like in tone and stuff, that it's hard not to be like, what in the world is this trilogy even? And yet they're all so good.
Yeah,
It's
so
so
there's 2
great.
different endings to it.
To Army of Darkness. Bailey, did you see S-Mart or Apocalypse ending?
S-Mart.
Okay, I have seen both endings many times. I watch the S-Mart ending when I'm bored just because it makes me happy. But yeah, so you saw the Apocalypse ending.
I
The
did,
Apocalypse
yeah.
ending was the original ending, but Universal was like, that's a super downer,
That's
Raimi.
depressing.
Can we get a happy one? And then he was like, okay, and then he just went and made the best scene in cinema history.
It's a really
S-Mart
good
ending.
scene. I went back
Yeah.
and did watch the supermarket scene.
Yeah, it's so
really
great.
cool.
So I want to go on a bit of a tangent. Have either of you
Go ahead.
guys listened to Evil Dead the musical?
Yes, I watched it.
No.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go.
Because I re-listened to the music for this episode because I was like, I haven't listened to it in a while. It's not the greatest musical, but it's pretty funny.
No,
I wish I
it's
could
fun.
see it live.
Oh
Like,
yeah, be in the front
give
row with the
anything
blood, because there's so much blood in
I'd
that
give
musical. It's great.
I'd give anything to see that one performed live. It just looks so great. That and American Psycho the musical I'd also love to see.
There's an American Psycho musical.
There is an American Psycho musical.
Oh.
Yes,
So
there
many
is.
musicals.
It's a little too new wave
My
for a lot of
favorite,
people's
see, my
taste, but-
personal favorite horror franchise that got turned into a musical, sort of, was Death Note the musical.
Yeah,
but,
Death
you
Note
know.
counts as
Shut
horror,
up,
I guess.
Bailey. Shut up.
It does.
Nerd.
No.
Weeb.
Just
Weeb.
just
Get the
wait
fuck
until
out.
Resident
Weeb.
Evil becomes a musical.
I will
wait.
write it. I will write Resident Evil the musical.
You wanna
I will
write
do
it?
it tonight.
You wanna write
I'll do it tonight.
Tonight.
I don't know how to write music. I will write a script though, And I'm perfect for a Resident Evil musical because I can't write dialogue very well. So
yeah,
it'll be
perfect.
Anyways, back to the actual movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, kind of
Or the musical. I think the Evil Dead musical is great. I recommend it. There's a video of it on YouTube. It's not the highest quality, but it's fun.
And it gets the job done in showing that the Ash
done.
actor did an amazing job.
He did.
He's great.
He should be in the video game. They should put him in with musical abilities.
Yeah.
I think that would be really funny. But so, of the 3 movies, which one was your guys' favorite?
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2, yeah.
Yeah, that one's my favorite movie of all time.
I think everyone agrees that's the best.
Yeah.
It's good.
But, like, if I were to have a bunch of friends over and it was like, what movie, like, Kaden throw on a movie just in the background, I'd throw on Army of Darkness. Because it's just so funny. Ash is great. I would, if I could just throw on one scene, it would be the skeletons. There's videos online where it's like just the skeleton parts. Like, guys, get the hell out of here. Which, by the way, voiced by Sam Raimi. Skeleton.
You know what's funny is that when I was watching the trilogy, it was like the first film was trying to be scary. And it was trying to be this brand new horror type of thing. And then the second film's like, yeah, no, we're goofy. But like there's still like some scary stuff here and there. And then the third one just throws out the window. It's like, we're just goofy now. We're just having fun.
Now.
Yeah.
We goofy now. We goofy now.
Silly.
I do have a question for y'all.
What?
If you had to pick one singular line out of this entire trilogy, what do you think your favorite line would be?
Okay. Okay, yeah, I remember. So it's of the old guy who wants the book, right? And the castle is like having electricity all over and the dead is rising like around them. And he says, something is wrong. Something is amiss. And it's funny.
I knew someone would bring that up. Like, that line stuck out to me when I watched it, too.
Because it's like, obviously, dude, what do you mean something is wrong, something is amiss? It's like, you can clearly see it. That's my favorite.
I do know mine, and it's just like my favorite little scene, and it's the evil Ash, and it's, I'm bad Ash, you're good Ash. You're goody little two shoes, and then he just shoots him.
Okay.
And then the coolest line in cinema history is just the, I ain't that good.
Good. No, it's good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
No. Do we have different ones?
Oh yeah, there is different versions of that scene.
That's so weird.
I forgot there is different versions of that scene.
Those are both good lines.
Yeah. What bothered me on my rewatch of Army of Darkness, right? Talking about that scene is Evil Ash first says little goody two shoes or goody little two shoes, right? When he's like, you're goody little two shoes, Ash. But then when he does his little song and little dance and when he punches him, he changes the order and calls him little goody two shoes instead of goody little, and it bothered me. It shouldn't. It bothered me though. I don't know why. I was like, they changed the order. I'm pretty sure that's weird. My favorite line is Evil Dead 2, I think, where Henrietta goes, I'll swallow your soul. And he goes, swallow this. And bam. That was like the moment, right? That is the Ash moment. And then obviously, my other favorite line could also be, all right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick. It's a 12-gauge double-barrel Remington. S-Mart's top of the line. You can find this in the sporting goods department. That's right, this baby was made in Grand Rapids, Michigan. You can find it for around $109.95. It's got a walnut stock, a cobalt blue steel handle, and cobalt blue steel and a hair trigger. That's right, shop smart, shop S-Mart. You got that? All right, now let's find a way home. That's also a great line.
There's so much quotable stuff from this entire movie. From this entire trilogy.
Kaden just said that whole thing like it was the Eggman speech for me. Like, that was amazing, Kaden. Good job.
Yeah, I watched it a lot. Yeah, I could also do the Eggman speech.
Me too.
Of course.
That one pretty well.
Of course.
We're going to save that one so I don't have to censor it, but yeah.
The best part about this entire trilogy is just how quotable it is. Like, there's so much stuff. Hail to the King.
Too.
Give me some sugar, baby.
Fun fact, Kaden, fun fact time. Kaden Evil Dead fun fact time.
Yes, Kaden, yes.
Bruce Campbell once said at a panel that someone thanked him because they went to China and they didn't know very much of the language, but they went out to a bar and they wanted to get laid. So all they did was translate "Give me some sugar, baby" into Chinese. Got them laid.
No way. What an icon.
What an icon, right?
Bruce Campbell helping the virgins.
Helping people out. There was another fact I wanted to say. I can't remember it now. Have you guys ever seen when Phineas and Ferb referenced Evil Dead?
Yes, with Dr. Doofenshmirtz getting his glove.
Yes.
Thing.
Oh, wait, yes. Yeah.
I have watched that a couple
Groovy.
times. It's the best time Phineas and Ferb has referenced a horror movie, which is weird that it's happened twice.
Shaun of the Dead, too.
Yeah, that's the other one I think of, when
That's
they
a good
had
one.
Sean and Ed, which
Yeah.
that one will probably be in next year's horror month, unless I can't wait to talk about it. But yeah,
Fair
that
enough.
one's really good.
So in the movie, in the third one, Army of Darkness, the code before he picks up the book is Klaatu Barada Nikto, and I stopped at first of all because that's in Sonic 2, but also
The movie, not the
but
game.
also I just recently watched like the original film for that, which was The Day the Earth Stood Still, and I was like, I get this reference. Let's go.
It's such a good line, like the fact that it's a reference, and that whole scene. Like, I've seen the images of Bruce Campbell trying on the face prosthetics for the stretch out scene.
Oh yeah.
It's really funny because he had to wear it for a while, and there's also some great behind the scenes photos of him with the evil Ash like on his shoulder. What I would
Really?
give to own that? Are you kidding me?
I was wondering how they did it.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was mostly practical. Like, I mean,
The
The
obviously,
special effects are really impressive,
Yeah.
honestly, for how old
Army
they
of
are.
Darkness is pretty funny to me because there's scenes with the stop motion skeletons, but then there's also scenes of
They're
just regular
puppet
people
skeletons.
in
Yeah,
mediocre
regular.
skeleton costumes
so
on
funny.
horses.
Yeah.
It's so cheesy, but that's
It's
kind of
all
what
over
makes
the
Army of
place.
Darkness so good,
Mhm.
is how cheesy it is. And that's just what
Yeah.
makes Sam Raimi so good, is how he can have the biggest budget in the world and it'll still feel cheesy in a good way.
Yeah.
I don't.
Like
yeah.
in Multiverse of Madness, when the same extra runs past the screen like 5 times. You guys seen that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. That's
It's
funny.
so good.
Or like Drag Me to Hell, when it's like this really like scary story, and then he just makes it like this old lady chewing on her
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
So weird.
Sam Raimi's great. He made Spider-Man one of my favorites. He made Doctor Strange one of my favorites.
Wait, Spider-Man,
This
one of
is
your
great.
favorites? It's also one of my favorites.
Yeah, well, it is your number 1 favorite if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Anna.
Spider-Man 2 is my favorite. Wait, both of us like the sequels, the direct sequels to
More than the first.
to
The
his big
sequels
And
are better
also-
than the first one.
Yeah, I agree, and they're like masterpieces of their genre. And the third one in the series is
They
silly
are.
goofy, but I'd rather watch it than any of the others.
Oh my goodness, the connections here. My
all I'm
mind is
saying.
blown.
Yep, and the third one had a lot of studio meddling. It was supposed to be a lot different, but there was studio meddling.
Yep. Oh my
I
goodness.
do think if we talk about the Evil Dead series, we do have to talk a
Yes.
little bit about the TV show.
Yes, Ash vs. Evil Dead is really good. It is
It's all
3
on
seasons.
Netflix.
It's all on Netflix. I highly recommend anyone watch it. It is my
If you
favorite
like the movies.
interpretation of the character Ash, right? Because it lets him have time to just be funny, which is the best part of these movies.
It
is
has
that he's
one of
totally
my
fun.
one of my favorite things. One of my favorite lines as well.
Oh, is
it's
it the
one-
churros?
Huh?
Is it the scene with the churros from Ash
That's
vs?
that's a really good scene.
Okay,
But
I'll explain that
no.
one. There's
Yeah,
a
do
scene,
the
right?
churro
So
one.
Ash has like 2 partners in the show, Pablo and I forgot her name. Is it Kelly? It's Kelly.
Kelly, it's
Um,
Kelly.
I completely forgot. I haven't watched the show in a little bit, but Pablo obviously is he's where is he from? He's not Mexican, but he's like I think he's from
He's
like
Dominican,
Argentina.
I think. I think he's
Something
Dominican.
like that. But Ash is in the car and he's like, all right, I'm going to go in here. We'll get the Necronomicon all sorted out. I'll be back here. And then we can go get churros. And he looks at Pablo and he goes, that's not a racist thing, Pablo. That's just a really good dessert. And Pablo looks at him and goes, you know I'm not Mexican, right? And Ash goes, that's the spirit. All right, I'll be right back.
Oh my
Like, it's-
goodness.
it's so good.
That's such in character for Ash though. Ash is a douche.
Yeah, they introduce a lot of really good bits. Like, part of season 2 or 3 is Ash is hypnotized and put into a mental hospital, and they make you, the audience, think for a little bit that Ash has been crazy this whole time, and maybe none of this has ever actually happened, and he just kills people with a chainsaw. It's a really good
Texas
bit.
Chainsaw Massacre?
Uh-oh, is that a motherfucking Texas Chainsaw reference?
Oh, no.
I will be making that meme. It'll be on the Twitter shortly.
My favorite thing in this show, I think, is it's such a simple line, but it's when he's going to his happy place in the first season, and he goes to Jacksonville, Florida, and it's the single greatest line I've ever heard, even though it's so simple and it's made me laugh the hardest thing. Like, it's made me laugh harder than anything ever has, and it's just, the line is this: it's Jacksonville, the city's so nice they named it Jacksonville.
It's such a good line too.
It's so funny.
The city's so nice they named it Jacksonville.
Fun fact, since we were talking about horror nights earlier in the episode, there was an Ash vs. Evil Dead Halloween Horror Nights house one year, and a lot of people thought it was like the best house that they'd done.
That's crazy. That would have been fun to go through.
Yeah,
for sure.
They also did a house of the 2013 remake, which I watched recently, and best horror remake, I think, that or Hellraiser. It was
I'll
quite
check
good.
It out.
Yeah, I recommend it. I believe it's on HBO Max. It's on something. Might have been taken off.
I do have one question, Kaden. How upset were you when you found out that it was canceled after season 3, Ash vs. Evil Dead?
Okay, so you know that scene in Toy Story 2 where they show Woody's finest? It's like, Woody's finest hour! It's like, alright, the next episode! And then Stinky Pete turns off the TV. It's like, what happened? It was that. It was that feeling, yeah.
That's so
because they tease one of the best things, and it's apocalyptic Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah,
and it would be Mad Max. It would have been Mad Max.
They even had
Ash.
the Delta, and they probably would have referenced Army of Darkness's "Say Hello to the 21st Century" with all the stuff on it. It would have been great. There is rumors right now, since all the actors came back for the game. There's rumors that Bruce Campbell is willing to do an animated series, an Ash vs. Evil Dead animated continuation.
That'd be cool.
Which I would really enjoy, because animation is for adults too.
Yeah.
I said it.
I like SpongeBob.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
so cool.
I'm trying to think of other specific talking points I really wanted to
There's so
bring up
much. There's so much about this movie that we could just talk about.
This is the most movies we've watched for one episode. Last most being 2. Soon I'm just gonna be like, alright, all the Saw movies, one episode. Get ready. You have 1 week to watch them.
I'm going
all
to
9
die.
movies.
Me?
Yeah.
Forcing you guys to watch all Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, I'd
and
do
TV
it. I'd
show.
watch all the Resident Evils. And
You'd
I wouldn't watch the show.
Don't watch the show.
I would draw the line at the show. I'd go, no.
We always... I feel like we always get back to Nope, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Resident Evil. Like, we never have a break.
Like, yeah, and each one of those represents one of us, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
True.
Who is your... have any of you guys played the game?
No.
I have a little bit.
Bailey's played.
It's so difficult.
The game's fun. It's hard. It's hard as hell, especially the story missions,
my main in the game is Army of Darkness Ash.
Yeah, he's actually the best character in the game. Well, it was Pablo from Versus, but they actually just nerfed him literally today. They added an update. They added They added the blacksmith from Army of Darkness as well as a character. They added a lot to that game from Army of Darkness, which bothers me. Put more stuff from other movies, please, like other Evil Deads. But yeah, he's in Fortnite now. Did you guys know Ash Williams is in Fortnite?
What?
No way.
I know, Ash Williams, Ashley. Does anyone know what his middle name is? His name is Ashley J. Williams. Does anyone know what the middle name is?
J. Jonah Jameson.
Ah, Spider-Man.
Jacob. I don't know.
All right, McKenna, is J. Jonah Jameson your final answer?
No. I don't know. Jamie.
It's Joanna. It's Ashley Joanna Williams.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wait, it's like all mid-names.
Yeah, it is. It's just kind of funny. I thought that was funny. Have you ever seen the memes, McKenna, where it's like, it's Leon S. Kennedy? What does the S stands for? It stands for hope.
I hate that. But do you think Bruce Campbell thought that playing this character high in the woods with his friends making this film would become such an iconic horror character?
I don't think he did. I know it has.
I mean, I definitely doubt he would be starring in the blockbuster franchise known as Cars 2.
He was in Cars 2. He wouldn't have been in Sky High. He was in that as well.
I forgot
Coach
he was in
Boomer.
Who does he play in Sky High?
He's Coach Boomer. He's the coach.
Oh,
Hero.
that's right.
Sidekick.
That's
him.
Right. I love that.
I have multiple fan cams of Coach Boomer saved on my TikTok.
I feel like you have just fan cams of every Ash Williams character, or of every Bruce Campbell character.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
I love
this
Bruce
is
Campbell and Ash.
this is a fun
other
time.
I've been wanting to watch a Bruce Campbell movie he did called Bubba Hotep for a while. Which, McKenna, what would you do if you were Elvis Presley and you didn't actually die, but you were in a nursing home?
Oh.
And you were in a nursing home with a guy who thought he was John F. Kennedy, but he was not John F. Kennedy. And then you had to fight mummies, and you were still Elvis, but you had to fight mummies in a nursing home.
I'm probably not Elvis then. What?
No, you'd be Elvis in this.
I am Elvis?
It's funny to describe movie plots. Like, what would you do if...
Oh, yeah, it is funny,
movie,
isn't
yeah.
it? What would you do if this
is the
happened?
strangest bit.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know what I would do if I had to fight mummies. Probably play some rock and roll music. I don't know.
Probably. Does anyone have any other, like, specific things they wanted to bring up about...
Do you have any other fun facts? I feel like you have more fun facts.
I'm trying to think of more specific fun facts. In Evil Dead 2, you know when he's fighting his hand and he grabs it and he does, like, the flip over onto the ground? That's real, and he could do that for many years.
No way!
He did it at conventions. He would just
amazing.
do it. He'd be like,
fun.
okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you find out you could do that?
Sam Raimi tortures you until you can. That's how you find out.
I do actually know one fun fact about this, which is the fact Bruce Campbell has a severe rivalry with the car.
Oh yeah,
with
Bruce
Sam
Campbell
Raimi's
hates the
car.
Delta. He's tried to get the Delta destroyed on multiple occasions, but Sam Raimi will
Didn't
not
he even
let that
take
happen.
it apart? Didn't he
He
even
did,
take
but
it
there was
apart
another
one
one
time?
There was another car.
Of course.
Yeah.
Didn't Bruce Campbell also hate the necklace in the first film, the ugly necklace?
The magnifying glass.
Sam Raimi
It's
bought
so
it because he said
ugly.
it was the ugliest necklace he could find.
It's not a good necklace.
It's
so
terrible, but I
weird.
want it. I've wanted to buy it and wear it because I think it's funny.
No.
And then they just bring it back for every movie.
Yeah, they just keep... I think it's funny that they recast his girlfriend in every single movie.
3 different
She's different
times.
in every single one.
Heck, they even have her played by stop motion animation in one.
Yeah, right? That was funny.
In the second movie.
Stop motion is better than special effects. Most times, I think. Even if it looks cheesy.
I always
like
wondered
stop
how they
motion.
did the mirror shot in the first movie. When
Yeah,
he
that
sticks-
one's...
Oh,
there's a lot
when he
that I
sticks
just
his
don't know,
hand into
yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
I think
Or when he's looking in the mirror and he himself jumps out of it.
I think probably
that part.
it was. They probably had the mirror, right, and then they probably made it flat, so it was actually water, and then he just probably went over it and then touched it, but they positioned the camera very carefully. That's what I'm guessing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would do.
Special effects are so weird in this one. I do think it's so funny that they do some specific stuff like that and it looks really great. And then the makeup for the first Deadites in the first movie are just like, oh, it's just a guy. It's just a guy with like
He's
some
just
gray
a guy,
skin and
pretty
stuff.
much. Yeah. He's got a spooky face.
I think my favorite design of the Deadites is from Evil Dead 2 though, for sure.
Yeah, it's more like when I think of the Deadites, I think of that type of design with
I
the
think of it
really
too.
sunken
Yeah.
eyes.
Face, like,
Yeah.
yeah. When I think of Deadites, I think usually of Henrietta first, like from the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the TV show, because there's a lot more Deadites in it, but
True.
they all look different.
Okay, well, are we ready to wrap up, or did we want to talk about recommendations?
I think
Oh yeah,
so.
do we have any weekly recommendations?
Not
Play.
really.
I recommend the rest of the Evil Dead franchise. The TV
Watch
show, the
all of
remake,
it.
the video game.
The game.
Dead by Daylight, which has Ash in it.
Watch Scream.
Spend
watch Scream.
all of your money on Ash Williams. Anyways,
But,
I think that
yeah.
does
So,
wrap up our conversation.
I feel like we should say we're going to take a little bit of a hiatus. We've done 14 episodes without missing a day or an upload. We've done pretty well. So we're taking a little 2-week break. We will be back, and I think it'll be McKenna's choice once we get back. McKenna, do you have your choice ready, or are we just going to tweet it out once it gets closer? Or?
We will most likely tweet it out, but actually, you know what? I'll tell you guys right now. Are you ready for a rom-com of the century, everyone? A rom-com?
Oh,
that's right. That's
great.
right.
Oh.
We're gonna be watching Silver Linings Playbook.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh my! It's not Five Nights at
Oh,
Freddy's.
really?
We're gonna be watching Silver Linings
Okay.
Playbook, which I thought I should include since we need something light. And by light, I mean mental illnesses. So, get ready.
Light, fun, happy time. Yeah. So we will see you all in 2 weeks. Remember to subscribe, to like the podcast on YouTube. Send it to your friends. Like, if you know someone that might enjoy this, like, share it to them. I don't know why, but we got a lot of listeners on the one with our hyperfixations.
Wesker.
But we've been...
It's because it's featuring Wesker. Albert Wesker.
Yeah, we had the real Albert Wesker
Yeah, the
on.
real... He was real.
And he's here again. I have
OMG,
returned to
Albert.
the podcast.
Yay!
Yes. But,
Wesker,
yeah,
what are you doing with that gun?
Also, on Spotify, don't forget to give us 5 stars. On Apple Podcasts, if you listen on there, give us 5 stars. Smash that notification bell on YouTube so you know when we come back. Yeah, and comment down below. Comments really help. If you don't like something about our show, tell us. If you do like something about it, tell us so we can keep doing it. Interact with the Twitter a lot. While we're down, if you guys want me, because I'm Twitter man, to tweet more, let me know. I'll tweet some silly, goofy facts, you know? Yeah. And remember, in these 2 weeks without the podcast, to still be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
See you guys later.
See ya.